So you've been following the golden rule of getting bigger. Just add more weight to the bar every single session. But lately you've hit the wall. You're putting in the work, but the person you see in the mirror isn't changing. And your numbers have stalled. What if I told you that this so-called golden rule is the very reason why you're stuck? The common understanding of progressive overload is just plain wrong. And today I'm going to show you what it really takes to smash through that plateau for good. Hi, my name is Boris Kish. I'm IVB license coach, professional nutritionist, and the super heavyweight bodybuilding competitor in the over 100 kilograms category, which is over 220 pounds on stage. I'm 6'4" tall, which is 193 centimeters. Welcome to my channel. And I'm going to tell you right now that we are going to divide this in 5 simple rules. Not so simple, but pretty simple. I simplified as much as I could. I highly suggest that you stay till the end because they're all very important. I mean, it's not because, number 5 is about failure. I can show you right now, but they're all connected, you know. If we skip the first 4 parts and just say the 5th, it's not going to make sense. I'm pretty sure that you understand, that you're, smart enough to understand that, and you will not regret. That's the point of all of this. Number 1 rule is progressive overload is necessary, but not weekly. Weight has to increase. I mean, what does that mean? First of all, I have to tell you that I am a big believer in putting strength, you know, and I like progressive overload, and I was forcing progressive overload a lot when I was much younger. I'm 42 now. I'm also forcing it right now, but that doesn't mean that you have to increase the weight every damn time, okay? Doesn't mean that every week, every session, you know, the weight simply has to go up on the bars, on the dumbbells. Yes, you have to have this mindset that, you know, you have to become stronger, because if you don't become stronger, we will get into that. The body won't, you know, the brain won't get, the body won't get the signal why it should be growing in the first place, right? But if you really, you know, follow this strictly, like, you know, straight-headed like a horse, when they put this, you know, around his eyes, you're going to get injured, and I don't want you to get injured, and this is, you know, my explanation why you're supposed to prevent that. So yes, the weight has to increase, but that doesn't mean that you have to be obsessed and this has to, you know, happen every damn time. Doesn't matter if you're natural or non-natural. You understand? And of course, if you want to take your training to the next level, I made 3 complete training splits that you can get for free. Link is below. I'll send them straight to your email. Number 2 is muscle mass doesn't exist without strength. Is this truth or not? I mean, look, honestly, they say that this has nothing to do, you know, with each other, that being strong doesn't actually mean that you are going to, you know, simulate your body for hypertrophy and that you're going to put a lot of muscle mass. I mean, yes, it makes sense. I'm going to be fully honest to you in theory. I mean, the science says that it's not so important, but honestly, from my experience as a competitive super heavyweight bodybuilder, who was always among other guys who are big, I mean, really big, much bigger than me also, competing, I don't know one huge big bodybuilder that was not strong. I mean, Tom Platz, the quad father, was killing, you know, weights with his legs. Ronnie Coleman, for my opinion, the best of all time. Honestly, Sergio Oliva, by my personal opinion, had the best physique of all time, but nobody was better than Ronnie, right? I mean, he did the volume and he was abnormally strong, you know. This was like pure strength and raw mass. I mean, yes, he paid the price with all the injuries and all the operation that he had, you know. I'm really praying for Ronnie. I like Ronnie a lot, you know, but there is not going to be a physique that's going to beat that in another 100 years, by my opinion. So yes, it's important that you are strong, if you want to be big and muscular, but that doesn't mean no matter what, you know, that doesn't mean that you have to train with shitty form and put as much weight as possible, you know, as I said, for the cost of form and correct movement. But you cannot expect that you lift, I had there some small weights somewhere here, cannot find them right now. I mean, you cannot cannot do biceps curls with 7 kilograms and expect that you have biceps like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you understand? The weight has to increase. And you know, I want to hear your opinion. Do you train to failure? Do you use progressive overload or follow a different method? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Number 3 is the rule about the rep ranges. I mean, what is the correct rep range? Because, you know, I see a lot of coaches on the internet, on the YouTube, that are honestly suggesting a bigger rep range, and I'm not going to name them, and I'm completely going to be against them. There is a lot of truth in what they're saying, but you know, extreme rep ranges are not optimal for most lifters. I mean, yes, you know, as an influencer, you know, I don't see myself as an influencer. Maybe I'm going to become one day. You know, I'm not that, my channel is not that big right now, but you know, also as a coach is much safer that I tell you, don't go below 10 reps or 12 reps for upper body part, and don't go below 20 reps, right, for the lower body part. But if I tell you this, that I was working out like this, that the big guys that I know were working out like this, I would be lying to you. So what's the sweet spot? The sweet spot is from 6 to 10. You know, don't go below 6. I fully agree with the colleagues out there that, you know, too low is not going to bring any kind of benefit. You know, below 4 is, you know, super risky that you might get injured, and you will for sure sooner or later. But you know, if you never go below 10 or 12 repetitions, I mean, if you just put weight when you're able to do 12 repetitions, I mean, what kind of training is that going to be? I mean, who knows when will you achieve that level of power, right? And by my personal opinion, that's going to be super boring. So this is why I also created this 10-8-6-6 system that you can find in one of my previous videos if you want. Of course, one of my previous first mentors taught me that. I didn't invented it, you know, I just implemented it and show you how it works. Therefore, don't go below 6, but you don't have to go 10, 12 or 20 reps for legs, as somebody was suggesting out there. You know, I think 20 reps for legs, if I had to do them, you know, I would go crazy, I would kill myself. It's a shitload of repetitions, you know. Until I do 20, I will forget what was I doing in the first place. Number 4 is about perfect control. Does it matter or not? Look, it's extremely important that you know, lift correctly with muscle-mind connection, but you know, obsession with the form kills performance. Do you understand? I mean, good form and tension are essential. That's without any doubt. But constant maximal focus and slow tempo are not sustainable, forever. Do you understand? I mean, imagine if you do bench press and squats and you non-stop, fully focused from the beginning till the end of the training, you were like 100% in every rep that you do. I mean, it's not a mistake, but for example, I personally, if I would be doing, you know, constant tension, non-stop, only focus about constant tension, doesn't matter if I'm natural or not, let's say non-natural, you know, I would go crazy. I mean, if I give my maximum to the tension, it would be absolutely not possible to increase the weight from time to time. And therefore, you know, if the weight doesn't increase, you know, the muscle won't get enough stimulus. The whole body won't get enough stimulus to be bigger. You know, you can eat as much food as you want, as much protein. You can take shitload of steroids and growth hormones or whatever that I'm absolutely not suggesting to you. But if the weight on the bar doesn't, get higher, if the dumbbells don't get bigger, the muscle is not going to get, it's not going to get signal that it has to adapt, that it has to grow. As simple as that. Number 5, as I was telling you, that is really important, is about failure. And this is the last rule for today. It's a tool, yes, not a rule. What does that mean? Going to the failure, the whole video is pretty much about that. Going to the failure, yes, from time to time is necessary, but I'm going to tell you how I do, okay? So let's say if I'm able to do 6 clean repetitions on the bench press with a certain weight, okay? And I break that point that I'm able to do, 200 kilograms. How much is that? 450 pounds 6 times. That doesn't mean that the next training I'm going to go for bigger weight or 7 repetitions. I'm going to stick with that weight for a week or 2 until the body adapts. And then slowly but surely I'm going to add clean repetitions. When I feel that I can do 1-2 reps in reserves easily, when I get to the 6, then I will try to do 7, then I will try to do 8. And when I'm able to do 10, for example, 10 super clean correct movements, do you understand? I'm not just going to focus on my progressive overload on adding the weight, but also doing the clean correct movement as clean as it is, as cleanest as there is to 10 repetitions, with clean form. Again, I'm repeating myself like a parrot because this is when it's important, because the weight is already super huge. We want to prevent the injuries. When I'm able to do 10, then I will call the spotter that I really trust. And then, I'm going to try with a little bit bigger weight, let's say 5% more from the weight that is, how can I say, the altogether weight, right? And maybe this is going to happen in 2 months with my 42 years of experience. Even if I'm not natural, might happen that I increase that weight even in 6 months. It might even happen that I increase, from 6 repetitions to 10 repetitions in a year, because I'm not, overstuffing myself with steroids and shit, for example, as when I was really competing and was really young. So do you understand? It's always important also, again, that you go to the technical failure, not total failure, like your life depends on it. So therefore, the final conclusion is progressive overload is not about chasing weight or avoiding it. It's about getting stronger over time with control, patience, and of course purpose. When strength, form, and recovery are balanced, growth will come for sure. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more real, no fluff fitness advice. And if you want to know, is insulin resilience blocking your growth? Click on this video and I'll see you there.